Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
We had some chocolate-covered strawberries.
And they were washed.
They were washed.
Most
and they were
importantly.
clean.
And I washed my hands before.
Thank you.
But I did lick my fingers a lot.
I can handle that.
That's amazing. Thank you. No dirty pans, no dirty counters. She cleaned everything for us.
Your house is so nice and neat and clean.
Mine?
Yeah.
No way.
Way.
Listen to her. She thinks her house is dirty. Can you believe that?
It's
No.
so dusty.
I was waiting to see what you were going to say. Like, I've seen your house since. Like, who? A good friend of mine. Oh, I haven't mopped the floors today. And I go, I haven't mopped my floors since my husband laid them. Just saying.
I'm terrible.
But
like,
now I have a
don't
dog.
even like.
I have to think about I need to go clean the floors.
mop. I spot Swiffer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. That's okay.
Like, oh, it's dirty over there. I'll just Swiffer it up real quick. Like once every 5 years, I get on my hands and knees and clean the whole
gosh.
floor.
And then you're sorry for
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Yeah. It's almost not worth it.
No, it's not. I'm gonna hire a housewife.
a sister wife.
You ever come home at night like, oh, honey, did you fire the maid?
I know.
this
Sometimes
place.
Johnny's like, yeah, my girlfriend. I'm like, really? Because she didn't clean the house before she left. She needs to clean the house before she leaves. She's going to come visit you while I'm at work. Tell her to do some laundry, too.
Oh, my God.
So we were talking about injuries. How often do you see people fake injuries? Because I know we were just talking about the families going to Mexico, but
Yeah. I do remember one where we're always trying to figure things out.
sure.
And there was a customer one time that was laying parallel with the grocery shelves, down like an aisle, laying parallel with it. And it was a dry goods aisle. And we could never figure out what he fell on.
Yeah.
But his wife showed up, and it was like, oh, how did she said it so that it made you go, wait, what? How did you know? Like, what did he slip and fall on? Or wait, how do you know he didn't have a medical issue?
Right.
He was just laying there unresponsive. He was breathing and everything, but
her reaction was,
yes,
Yeah.
was
This was
shady.
planned.
Fishy. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, I don't know whatever happened with that one, but
I remember,
Yeah.
I think it was you, that someone pretended to slip in produce and put her hand down on the glass, like that is by the produce wet wall or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Put her hand there and then proceeded to like act like her head was hitting her hand and then fell. And you could see the slow motion on the camera. And you could
People
see the
are so
produce
dumb.
manager
They really are.
walking over, kind of like, that was weird. But still,
Like, are you
had
okay?
to make the accident report. And
Yeah.
But you could just see that everyone kind of stood around like, that was weird.
yeah. No, I don't remember that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if that was you or not then. But yeah, I just remember that. She had
I know before I left, there was an employee that she got into some trouble, and then I'm doing air quotes, passed out at work. So she would have to go to the hospital.
Oh.
And like, I'm pretty sure they saw on the video, like her faint with like her hands, like
Protecting
like
her
she's
head.
taking a nap.
princess falling down.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, how stupid can you be?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she thought she was out of camera range is the thing.
You can't ever think that.
Never.
I know.
Especially with the pan-held zooms. Like,
I
we
know.
can see across the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And down every aisle and every
Yeah.
corner. You think you're hiding.
You're
You're
not.
not.
Yeah.
There is no blind spot.
There's
I do remember being in a meeting. We have those morning huddles
Yeah.
in the morning. And I remember, this is a for real story. It was a new girl who worked on the GM side, general merchandise side. And I'm watching her, and she kind of looks at the person next to her, like, kind of like, I think I better sit down,
Yeah.
And the girl looks at her and she says, no, you could tell she was like, just keep standing. What are you doing? Like, toughen it out, you know?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm watching this girl and the knees are starting to buckle.
Oh, no.
And the face is turning gray. And I'm like, this girl's going down.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like casually walked over and grabbed her hand and bloop, down she went. Like,
Oh my
you know, when people
gosh.
pass out, they don't
Yes.
pass out like
Right.
long ways.
Right.
She kind of slumped. And so she just sat there for a minute and the store director kept talking.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, he was all excited. He had gone on a trip to see like some new
Shut up.
just kept talking, and so like someone went and got her orange juice, and we were all still talking and got her orange juice. She stood back up and she was good.
And she was fine. No kidding.
What the hell?
I did have a cashier that passed out once, and thank God it was years and years ago. Had more muscle, but I just remember, and she did pass out a few times.
Oh
But
my
that
gosh,
day,
that's
I
scary.
think it was the first or second time, and I was walking with my arm under hers, and she just like buckled, and I didn't know what to do, and I just picked her up.
Yeah,
It was the
cradled
only
her.
person, yeah, but she was that little. I mean, she
Yeah.
was taller, but she was so skinny, and that might have been part of the issue. Like, I don't remember her having a specific medical issue. I think she needed to eat.
Yeah,
And, you know, some people get like that.
Like, you need
but-
some chocolate.
Right, or sandwich. But yeah. Chocolate over strawberries.
Yeah.
But
oh,
yeah,
those were so good. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. But that was, I do remember, and she was so grateful. She was and embarrassed, you know. And that's one thing about accidents is like, you call it, a bunch of people come running, and then anybody within eye shot or maybe earshot, they come too because they want to see. And I get it. You just want to know. But that was the one thing that I think I did okay was, if you're not here helping me right now, go away.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
go back to work. And
I remember you'd always be like, I'm going to make you fill out a report. And we'd be like, okay,
Yes.
see ya.
Yeah,
it worked every time. If you don't want to write a report, get out of here.
Yeah.
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 And there was one where I think I had a few people stand. I said, "You guys stand together now. Turn around, and face the other way."
Yeah.
And they just protected the scene because it was.
That's what I would
embarrassing.
do. I would try to just be like, move along, people. Nothing to see here. Just a lady laying on the ground.
Yeah, I heard a story of one where like there was blood. I mean, somebody smacked their head on the shelf.
Yeah.
They passed out. It wasn't a slip and fall. It was just they had their own issue, and people that worked in the store had to stop customers. They were already trying to block the aisle,
Yeah.
but they had to physically say, "You can't." They were trying to reach around
Yes.
the person on the floor.
Yes.
Are you serious? Because you
Yes.
need your Cheerios.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, I was
I've dealt
actually
with
going to
that
bring
too.
that up. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to do with bodies on the floor, but
Let the bodies hit the floor.
it actually had to do with spills. It's my biggest pet peeve. So spaghetti sauce would drop or liquor would drop, and you would put the cones around and you'd have people blocking so that you could mop it
Yeah.
up. And customers are do and they want to run their cart
Right
through,
through it.
what
Yeah.
and I would get so angry. That it's
Yeah.
probably the only time I would have an attitude. I would
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
no, come
Yeah.
back. Like I would not be polite. Well, I just need to grab that.
Nope.
No.
You can go
see
around.
what I'm doing.
Go around.
Oh, and they would be so angry.
Yep.
Oh, the huffs and puffs and the eye rolls.
nerve
and it's
of you
right
to
there.
save
I
their
don't care if it's
welfare.
right there. This accident is here. You're not, and you you put the cones out. You walk away because maybe no one else can show up.
Yeah.
So you
Walk
put
away.
all the yeah, I know, but
At
sometimes
least
you're
we put cones
standing
up.
there for 15 minutes and you're like, someone's not going to bring me a mop. Fine, they're probably out pushing carts because it's Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And so you have to go run to get them. Not run. I would walk carefully.
Right.
To get a mop.
It's not
And
church,
I would
but
get
it is
over
retail.
there, yeah. And I would get back over there, and someone ran their cart through the
Yeah,
tomato sauce or
it's
something.
crazy.
I just want to
Yeah.
go punch them in the throat.
I know. Go
But-
find that one red squeaky
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
down the aisle. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, come on,
jerks.
It
I
would
mean, I
just-
did try to get people. I try to tell team members like, look, or leadership, if you have to stand here for the rest of your shift,
Yeah.
it's still going to cost less
Yeah.
Then
than if
if
somebody
someone
gets hurt.
falls,
And
I
and
know.
I'm
Yeah.
not always thinking dollar signs either. It really is about what today's injury is going to be down the road.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I did see video once of a lady, somebody dropped the liquor bottle, stocking in the aisle as a vendor, and a team member came by, or maybe it was a team member. They waited like a few minutes, and they got tired of waiting, and they walked away. And like between 15 and 30 seconds later, a lady came around the corner. She never saw it, and she slipped and popped her knee on the floor.
Yeah.
It's her knee. I mean, like,
Yeah.
oh.
How
And
much
so
is-
yeah.
How
like,
much is
could've
your
been
knee
avoided.
worth to you?
Oh,
You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
So when somebody asks me what I do there, like, what
Because
am I
how
gonna
do-
say?
Yeah,
Wait.
like how many stories have you told people?
Oh.
Who asked you what
Not
you
this
do
many.
there? Like family, friends? Like,
No.
oh,
Well,
you work for that company?
okay,
What do you
if-
do there?
Yeah, if family and friends ask me, I
Oh.
tell them what I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if I don't know you, I just remember standing in a Subway once. I don't know
Like
how
the
it even
sandwich
came
shop
up.
or the train
Oh, sorry.
station?
No. Which one am I allowed to say? Yeah, no. I was
No,
standing
yeah.
in a sandwich shop once, and there was a guy, and he looked a little shady, but it came out that I work at that place. I probably said it because I just do that. My boss would laugh because she'd be like, "Yeah, that's you."
Yeah.
And then it's, "Oh, what do you do there?" Most people follow it with, "Oh, do you cashier?" And I'm like, "No." So I just tell them I do inventory control.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
You know, because when I worked at that one store for a long time, and then I started doing that, and people were like, "Oh, you still work here? I haven't seen you in a while." And I was like, "Yeah, I got a job in the back."
That's
Yeah.
because I'm busy
okay.
watching you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. And then because we dress differently, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, see, I get to dress way more casual because I'm always in the back. Like I don't." Have
And
to
then
deal
they
with
don't want to hear it
customers.
because that
Yeah.
sounds boring.
Yeah.
Oh, you work in
Yeah.
the back, or you're in
Yeah.
an office. Oh, have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it hard for you to make friends at the store because you have to watch everyone?
No, because it's me.
Oh, yeah.
Like really, because I really do like pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the time that I moved from like loss prevention to, I took a brief stint in service as a team leader.
Mm-hmm.
6 months. I think
Yeah.
I was about 6 months. It took me like all of that to get the what I called the pucker factor. Like, oh, it's so and so from loss prevention. She's just up here to watch us. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh.
no, I left that department. I'm your team leader. Let me know what you need.
Yeah.
Just trying to like,
Yeah. Reestablish.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it took a long time for people to realize like, look, I'm really being real. What do you need? What can I help you with? But I did end up going back
They're like,
to,
"Do you even know how to change a schedule?"
no, oh, we didn't have to touch that back then. Like, what
Oh,
was I doing?
God.
I was jumping on lane when it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
when it was fat or when it was too busy. And if I didn't know the code, you got it for free. Yeah. If I couldn't find it, yeah.
You're like, "It's
It was
lemons."
yours. It wasn't.
It's
No,
lemons.
not lemons, but I don't know, kohlrabi or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like if I can't find it in the list, and I know a ton of vegetables, I just feel like I'm one of those people that knows because I eat a lot of different things. But like,
It's during the Lunar New Year. And you don't know the
Everybody
code
has
for
heads
the
of
weird
lettuce.
vegetable.
Yeah.
yeah, you can just have that.
Yeah.
I think I did that like twice. maybe
Everybody,
a few
everybody's got
times,
heads of
but-
lettuce and Roma tomatoes on their receipt from coming from you, right?
I didn't even think to put it under something else. Like, oh, I don't know what this is. Oh well, keep going.
Jesus,
Customer
I never even
happiness.
did that. I would be like, "What is this? What? Who knows what this is?"
You would,
And I would keep scanning.
and everybody would hear you from both ends. Somebody help her so she'll stop.
She just never shuts up. Hey, at least I could talk and scan at the same time,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. Because
Have you had any
Yeah.
heartbreaks of having to confront a team member?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
are
that's
those
the
are those
worst.
are those the worst? Or is it
you know-
just you go into the mode of just everyone's a theft, a theft.
No, not a thief. Yeah, a thief.
everyone's thefting.
It's
Yeah.
kind of so there's the one two cases. So the one case that really always bothered me was somebody took expired milk and old donuts, like from the gas station of this one place that I used to work. And she was that broke and she had
Yeah.
kids. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want, like, why are we
Yeah.
doing this? This is like that's a once in all the hundreds, and I'm like well over 1,000 cases, but
Yeah.
like all of these cases, all of these years, that's the one
that
that
really
shouldn't have,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, it's a super consistent company. We don't really budge and bend on, but like, isn't there a place, like, it just makes you wonder, like, can't there be a place for that one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So no. And
Like the company was going to throw it out anyways.
right. But you and
Mm.
I know that if you do
Right.
that, it moves on to other
Right.
things.
Right.
So, I mean, it's necessary in the scheme of the rules and things, and so we did it, but like that one still obviously bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes to team members, because I talk to everybody
Mhm.
and my boss doesn't, she just doesn't. Everybody knows me. They know I'm approachable. They can talk to her too, but I'm the one that's like, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
So if we're talking like this, if you come into my office and shut the door and talk to me about life and then you steal, like it's hard for me to feel sorry for
Right.
you because not only do you know that we're good at what we do, you see us doing it every day, but then like we talked.
Yeah.
And you know that when you get caught, I'm the one you're going to be sitting
Right,
across
yeah.
from. So a part of me wants to be offended, like, how dare you do that to put me in that position? But then the other part of me is like, well, I mean, whatever, this is what I do. And so here's what you did. And so then it just has to be like a black and white, here's what's going to happen. And so, yeah, those really bother me. But I don't have friends from work outside of work. I think
Yeah.
I've seen like 2 people, 3, maybe 4 in like almost 20 years
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
of work. And I think only one of them only the one has truly disappointed me.
Oh.
And it was, I'm not really that disappointed. I am disappointed because I loved her kids.
Yeah.
But her and her mom both got fired for stealing one way or another.
Yeah.
And that was like that's bothersome, but
Who was that?
oh,
I know who it was.
yeah.
So can we go to the
Yeah. But her kids, like the
Yeah.
one was like not mine, but like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this little, she looks like
Yeah.
you. Like this is
They gone. Anyways, so can we talk about the pharmacy? Like,
Oh,
are
God.
those
Oh,
hard?
I thought we just were.
Exactly. That's what brought it up in my mind.
I still don't know who
Oh
it
my
is.
god.
Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
so let's talk about the pharmacy. Like, what do you do about the druggies?
The druggies
the
that
Like those
members
that-
or the
Sure.
customers?
Oh, now I know
Oh,
who
yeah.
it
Sure.
is.
Welcome to the Late Show.
Yeah. Gosh.
Pharmacy
So, have you
cases,
had to
internal or external?
Internal.
both,
Let's talk
whatever.
about the pharmacists like taking a couple extra on the side for themselves.
I've
Or the techs, I should
okay,
say.
wait, let me
huh?
think. Pharmacists. Do we have a pharmacist once?
Or technicians or
Nope. I don't think we've. Oh.
The pharmacists get
Oh,
paid too
yes,
much.
I
They're not
think
going
we
to
did.
lose their because they
No.
could lose their license for that.
I
no?
know, but I
Yeah.
think there was a pharmacist. Yes,
Really?
there was.
Come
yes, there was.
on.
That was way back too.
Over some drugs, I don't know.
yes.
I mean,
well, they
that's-
stand all day. You gotta
addiction
take
is
something for your
hard.
back.
Oh my gosh, right?
addiction.
I shouldn't joke around about that, but
Yeah.
it's the podcast.
You've been on your feet a long time, Cass. Come on. Just not a pharmacist. The floors
I mean,
are hard.
Usually,
The little
Advil-
mats, they don't help your
usually
back.
Advil
I'm gonna
do
go
it
pick up
for
my next
me.
prescription, and she's gonna be back there.
Advil.
Hey, can I help you? Date of birth? What the fuck? Since I've been working back here, nothing hurts. I love it back here.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah, this was like way back even before the remodel of
Yeah.
the old place, and there was a team member who was figuring out how to get all kinds of the same thing in different forms, whether it's liquid or pills or I don't know,
capsules or
Yeah.
whatever
of the
patches
same
or
of the same kind of drug that you need, or
Yeah.
whatever. And so so she got terminated, and then that's a really I did have a conversation with her in the office because of the theft, but then after that, like she I think she died of an overdose. And that's like,
that's so sad.
it really is. And sometimes some people like jump on it and like, druggies, this and that, but you know what? It's still somebody's daughter. It's still
Yeah.
somebody's mom. It's still somebody's sister.
It's still a problem.
It's
Right, it's-
yeah.
yes,
Addiction
yes.
is a real
Yep,
issue.
yep.
Yeah.
So that, and then when I did that other job, that was where I met somebody
yeah.
that had that attitude. And when you work in that line of work and you see that a lot, I think they get hardened.
Oh, yeah.
When
Oh,
you've got
yeah.
a call of somebody ODing and you hear somebody in the background calling the pharmacy for more Narcan
Oh my
Oh.
god.
while this one's still being handled, like that can bring up some hard feelings,
Yeah.
for some people.
Yeah.
And that was just one case where I was like, look, that's still somebody's kid. That's
Yeah.
still somebody who didn't ask for that.
Well, people will say, if they're addicted to alcohol or pills or whatever, and they're like, well, they should just stop. Well, clearly, you've
What, did
never
we
been
ask you to
addicted
stop eating?
anything, like you don't understand. If
Right.
you don't understand, you don't get it.
yeah,
you know?
I was going to say, if you don't
Yeah.
understand, you don't understand.
You just don't understand it.
That would be like, I mean, it's not, but the closest thing I can get to is like to tell me to stop eating sweets
Yeah.
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
certain
Or for me,
Yeah.
it would be
Thanks.
caffeine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Mine is smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're like, just stop. My husband just quit cold turkey, and he's like, I don't know why you can't. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
because I will gouge your eyeballs out.
Because
First
I
of
love
all.
you, honey, and I want you to live longer. Okay.
But yeah, it's, if you've never been addicted to anything, you can't even,
Yeah.
you have no opinion. So the pharmacist called me and was like, hey, there's something in the system. This guy's using a fake prescription pad. He's writing out his
Oh.
own. And I was like, okay, let me call the cops.
Yeah.
They had FBI number,
shoot.
everything. Like, this was a deep case, and he's at our pharmacy. I was like, oh my God, it's the case of the century.
Yeah, the little town.
So
awesome.
I call the cops, and they're just like, I don't know what you want us to do about it. And I was like, bro, there's like an FBI number and everything. Like, you need to come here now, So they came down, and they asked him a couple questions and stuff. And I think they arrested him, but I never found out what happened.
Oh, just look his name up if you know it.
Well, yeah, I could probably do that, but
I just want to say good job.
yeah, thanks.
We needed you there.
Thanks.
So glad you were there to make that all pull together.
Yeah, we stopped that guy. That was Crime Stoppers that day.
And you said you didn't stop anybody.
Well, I didn't stop anybody.
Oh,
At the
I
doors.
let the cops
You
do it.
reacted.
I let the
That's
cops
good.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Respond.
reacted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
I would be terrible at
I
it.
observed and reported.
I'm not that this
I love that
episode is
movie.
about me at all, but I would be terrible at that because my adrenaline would be so high and
I
I'm
was
hyper as it
terrible.
is.
It
Yeah.
can be bad.
I would jump out of the clothes and be like, "Give me back my liquor!" And they'd be like, "What? I didn't steal." I'm like, "Oh, just kidding," and then I would walk
Oh,
away.
okay, bye.
I remember the one time I was walking around with the one guy that I worked with for a while, and I'm so brand new.
Yeah.
This is my third day, right? And we're following this kid.
Of actually doing the job.
actually
but
doing
you
the
helped
job.
me a
I helped
lot.
you.
It was you
Yeah.
and the one other guy.
Like
You
you
had
actually
really
being
good
in
direction.
the role.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he
Okay,
was like, okay, let's go follow this kid. And I'm like, okay, what do we do? And I'm following this kid. And I remember I was like, where did he go? And I come around the corner and we're like, boom,
Yes,
face to
face
face.
to face.
And I was like, ugh. And the guy I'm working with is like, stop, and I was like, I'm just going back to the office. I totally screwed that one up.
It happens.
It was so
happens.
bad. It was so
Yeah.
bad.
So you talked about hanging out in a box. What?
Oh my God.
Have you ever laid on a shelf with toilet paper in front of you?
Oh,
and,
no.
Okay.
But kind of.
That's for the little kids.
Because you would
Okay.
get
I might
behind
have
some
spent
stuff
some-
and part the toilet paper and peek through.
I mean, we looked through shelving, yeah, but I might have spent some time on top of a dairy cooler in the back room.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you're not supposed to put anything.
Well,
Miss.
yeah, but I cleared it off from whatever all you threw up there. There was all kinds of crap up
I
there.
bet there was.
Yeah, produce stuff, really.
That's
Baskets
so
and
funny.
things. Yeah.
So you would just hang out up there and nobody noticed you were up there?
No. And it's because it was darkish
Yeah.
and nobody's looking that way. And it was,
That's true.
if you stood in the
Is that
back.
when you had the little monitor?
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. We had to
you had a
hardwire
little
that.
monitor?
We had to hardwire it. It's
Yeah,
the
I
one that
remember
would've-
helping her with
it
that
would have
one.
been in the office still when you were there, but it would have been one of the ones that you looked at.
Oh,
I just took
okay.
it with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
you.
hooked
I
it up,
gotcha.
but-
Yeah.
That was one of those, if you stood back enough, you were in the shadows, but you could see.
Mhm.
And I only remember getting one case from that, and it wasn't too long.
It was someone receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was loading his backpack. It wasn't too terribly long after that there was a hard stop of nobody on top of anything.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It was the rule anyway,
Yeah.
but it was more like,
You're like, excuse me, I'm on the safety team. I did it completely
Well,
safe. You're
yeah.
like, well, not
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah. We did, we got a good case out of it.
yeah. We safely got a good case out of it.
Oh, that's all
End
that
result
matters.
was everybody's safe and we have a case.
Oh
We're
my
good.
gosh,
Do you have a
that's so
max
funny.
amount of hours, days that you have to work that you can work on a case, or
You
have
have
you?
such. Where do you come up with these questions? I love because
I told you
can't.
I've been waiting for this.
Oh my gosh!
Since
so
we
here's
started.
So the most hours I ever worked in a row, I think we're 24.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And that's not planned. That you never walk
right,
in
right.
knowing that you're going to do something
I was
like
surprised
that.
you showed up tonight. I thought for sure you were going to like call us and be like, oh
I'm
man,
on
you
to
guys,
it. I'm on to somebody.
I can't leave right
I-
now. I
I-
just busted somebody.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I told her my husband said, have your sister call because we have the same voice.
Yeah.
Just to mess with you guys, but I'll knock on the door at the same time. Yeah, no.
I'll be like,
Um,
oh.
I wouldn't want to disappoint you guys. And this is super fun for me too. I think it was like 24, and it's one of those where you work like an 8 or 10 or maybe a 12-hour expected shift because we don't make overtime in this company over 8. It's over 40.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
that makes for a nice short week, so to speak.
Right.
And I think the longest watch I ever had, I think, was 8 hours.
You watched
oh.
one person for 8 hours.
Was it a team member or a customer?
No, it was a customer, and
Wow.
They
I
were in
remember,
there for 8 hours.
Yes. So back when, so there's a lot of retailers open 24 hours. And this
Right.
was a
Yeah.
long time ago. So
Right.
it was one of those nights where I worked late, and it was like I think it was quarter to 12. And I just remember walking by the checkout lanes, leaving, and I looked over, and there was this woman, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me.
You knew her?
I knew she stole, but I had never caught her. And I wasn't going to let it go because I was back in the beginning where I
Right.
won't see you next week. I got to
Yeah.
get you today.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was like the most bizarre. She stole like a hairbrush and like, I don't know what, I honestly can't remember anything else except a hairbrush, but it was like, I don't know, somewhere between like $50 and $100, which to me now isn't really that much.
Right.
But I just remember laying on the floor in the middle of the night, and you guys talked about a witching hour at one point for midnight
yes,
workers.
yes.
And I worked midnights long ago, but as long as I keep moving, I'm fine. But there, like 2, 3 o'clock, that's nausea. Like that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yes.
That's why I said you'd start seeing ghosts and
Yeah.
shit. You know, like what's happening?
So I just remember sitting on or laying on the floor, looking under the end, like bottom plate
Yeah.
of an end cap,
Yeah.
just like because she was super slow, reading everything, and just she hung out all night. And I remember being over by Meat and Seafood, and no, I did not pee the whole time.
Oh my God.
Until it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we had literally gone around the entire store
Wow.
in all those hours. And I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
I can't not go to the bathroom. And everything she had was in all the different pockets of her coat. She didn't have a bag. She didn't have anything else. Or she had a few things in the cart, but just everything was on her. And I don't even remember who I asked, but it wasn't an AP person. And that's not part of the rules. Like,
Yeah,
you
right.
only
but,
trust
I
AP.
mean, sounds like it was an emergency. To
Like
go.
my teeth were floating, my eyes were yellow. I was like, "This is it! Like
It's time, yeah.
yeah." So I did. I ran to the bathroom, probably the fastest ever. Except now I've gotten super fast at it, hand washing and everything.
Yeah.
And I came back and literally like within a half an hour, I think she walked out, and she was much older. I mean, I'm not young anymore, but like I was probably 30, and she was probably 60 something. And she tried to run.
Oh no.
And as she moved quickly, she couldn't run. Stuff just
Stuff
started
started
falling
falling
out,
out.
of her pockets all
Wow.
across the parking lot
my
until the police
God.
met her across the parking lot. And, you know, she was older, and, you know, some people have, like, I love everybody, but I really do have a place for older people. I was raised going to like assisted livings and nursing
Yeah.
homes and things like that. But like, you steal. Like, we're still,
Right.
you know,
You're still-
inside you're not.
You're still doing
like,
something wrong.
78.
Yeah.
Inside you're like, you think you're 38 and you're still stealing or whatever. Okay, so I'm in my 40s. I think I'm probably like late 20s. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think we all feel like that sometimes.
yeah.
I don't feel my age.
Oh,
ever.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't until I broke my foot, and I was like, oh, we're
Oh,
old. We got to
yeah.
stop doing that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when I turn my neck too fast, I'm like, oh yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right.
but
I'm not young.
You probably remember that there was somebody that claimed to have hepatitis C, and they would threaten the team members at the service desk with it.
Oh, I don't remember
That was her. And that was why I stayed the course.
Oh my God.
Yep.
What a bitch.
Because I had to catch her to
Why would she
trespass her.
threaten them with it? What would be the threat?
I don't know.
Because if she
was-
spits on you, you can
Oh.
catch it.
Yeah, she would threaten
Yeah.
to like, and I don't know if it was because they didn't want to do returns for her or what, but she was
Oh.
just really, really like unhappy, grouchy kind of a
I
soul
like I
person.
can't put a face to it, but I feel like I
can.
know who you're talking
I
about.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And so that was like, I really stayed the course for that, really out of like, a desire to just get her out of the store
Yeah.
because it was messing with the team members.
Right.
And I was always kind of like those are my little chicks.
Yeah.
You know, even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
not, but like, yeah.
Has anything happened where it was just so funny? I mean, they were taking it serious, like you're talking about the running and the stuff falling out of the pockets. But has anything happened where, like, you go to stop someone and they like fall over and trip over a curb, or they try to
God.
take, anything like that, where you just can't stop laughing,
I've seen that.
even though
I've
it's a
seen that.
serious
Oh my gosh.
situation?
I know my boss has one for this.
I feel like I don't remember if it was with you or the guy that I was with, but I remember somebody went running out and we were on the phone with the cops and we were like, oh, he's running. Oh, well, no, now he's down on his face.
He fell.
You go to run through the mulch and not
Yeah.
realizing that they just put mulch
Yeah.
down. It's
Yeah.
really
It's
soft, and you
soft,
trip and
deeper
fall.
than you
Yeah.
thought. Yeah.
There were some slippery times. I can't remember. I remember
Slippery
eating it. Man, I ate it really bad once.
Oh, no.
Oh, you yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And that was just a
No, we don't want to
matter
hear
of-
that. That's not
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I mean, I recovered and caught the guy, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that at some of the locations, if you don't know what town you're in and the layout of the parking lot and you go this way, you're stuck.
Yeah.
That is not an out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you have to do a circle, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh, yes, we got more time. Cops
Yeah.
are on the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of funny to us. We laugh about that. But as far as, man, I'm going to be mad when I think of it when I leave.
It's all right.
But yeah, there's times when, I don't know, or somebody sets off the alarm or,
yeah.
and their reaction is enough to make you giggle.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes you have to watch the parking lot. Like, do you have to do that for people that are just doing dumb things out there? Like they're hitting other people's cars, or maybe someone calls and says, my car just got annihilated in the back. Can you take a look and see if anyone did it? Hit and runs, anything like
So
that.
that takes a police report. Like
Yeah.
an
It
officer
does.
has to come
Oh,
into my
okay,
office
okay.
and say there was an issue in the parking lot. Can you look it up? I personally had my car get hit by a shopping cart once. And generally speaking, that is not the liability of the business.
Store, yeah.
That is you. However, I have access to the cameras and I'm super particular. Like I feel like I find
Yeah.
things that other people would miss
Mm-hmm.
because the questions. Oh, they were here today and they stole. I can't identify them. I see their car. Oh, did they go to the gas station? Like I'll pull their purchases and look at their transactions out there. Sorry, all you thieves, but there's just too many resources. We will catch you eventually.
Yes.
Anyway, so there was like a significant dent in the back quarter panel of my car. And because I showed that a cart pusher or a utility worker, I forget what they call him at that store, was negligent in his job, that business paid for the repair.
Oh.
Okay.
But it was a very windy day, and the utility workers were supposed to be doing their job, and one watched it and tried to point and make the other one get it, and he was way further away. And because we could show that they should have done something about it and didn't, then they covered it. But yeah.
Did they
I've
lose
never
their
s-
job? Or
No.
they didn't.
No.
Okay.
They
Accidents
got in
happen. I
trouble,
get it.
but
It was
yeah.
windy. Yeah.
And in that place, like, I don't know. I think some locations are just windier than others.
Right.
And in that one, the wind just comes in, like it does from the west, and it just cuts across to the east. And so I've learned how to park.
Yeah.
Not
Meredith
just
can
where,
take some tips from you
Yeah.
because lots of stuff hits her car.
facing. Oh, hits your car, not people.
I
but
really
things.
want to get this beautiful new car that I keep eyeing every time I pass it on the highway. I'm not going to do it because
yeah.
I am
because
a
you can't put a
magnet.
bubble around it.
Yeah, you can't put a
Mhm.
bubble around it. So my car just keeps getting
Pallets
beat up.
like to hit her car.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think I
remember the
heard that.
Yeah. Do you remember my
Wasn't it
the
a
pallet?
storm?
Yeah, it was windy. It was windy, and the pallet went up and hit my car.
Yes.
And then every time I go to the city, either city,
yeah.
someone parks too close to me.
Yeah.
Or, as a matter of fact, I went and got my car washed. So I take care of my vehicle. And you know how the,
Yes.
what are those called? The
Yeah.
foam
The
things that go
brushes.
around? One got stuck in between my bumper and like the body of it.
What?
And
Come
went
on.
whoop and ripped it. So I have like a flap now. I'm like,
Are
I
you
can't
kidding
win.
me?
I can't win.
Oh,
yeah. So that's
no.
why I don't want to get a new car because it just keeps getting beat up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the curbs are my fault. But
Not the ones that move. Those little stinkers
and
jump
those
out
yellow
sometimes.
ones, yeah, those yellow ones, they're a little fishy, but but yeah. So my poor car. That's why I
Aw.
want to get a new car. But
You know what I did today?
can't wait for this one.
You didn't park facing west, but that's the
No.
key. Park facing west on the side of the parking spots that people would generally pull into nose
I'm glad I have a
first.
compass in my car, so I know which way is west.
Oh, you're
when
one
I
of
pull.
those. Oh, boss,
You
I
know,
hope
when
you're
I get
listening
turned
to
around
this,
in the
'cause she's
city,
just
I don't
like you.
know. I don't know which way is
No,
west.
you can't. But in a parking lot, if it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do
Anyway,
today?
what'd you do today?
Okay, so
Oh, she can't even tell.
you know all the trees are growing some nice greenery on them.
Yes.
So it's really hard to see signs in the city.
Oh boy.
I flew over a speed bump. And every time I do it, I just have to lasso.
Your poor car. Your poor car.
I was zooming
Oh,
too.
God.
I was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh shit, there's probably another
God.
one.
You're
coming.
lucky you don't throw your back out.
Well, yeah, no wonder your neck hurts.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I have shocks anymore.
Johnny, something's wrong with my car. What happened? I don't know.
I think I hit a raccoon.
I did it today and I just started laughing. I was like, thank God it's podcast day. I can tell everybody I hit another speed bump doing 20 miles an hour.
Those things are huge in the city. I mean, it's like, and you know, as soon as you start hitting it, you're like,
God,
oh no,
I
here
know.
we go.
But you can't. There's no time to slow
Everything,
down.
everything in your trunk goes thump thump.
Yeah.
And you know I drive an SUV, so it's open and
Everything
Oh
just
my
goes up
gosh.
and down.
I'm scared to open my thing.
Oh gosh.
Oh God.
You're
When we
probably
were
right.
in Florida, we went on this little island, to go
Yeah.
swimming and check this place out and everything. So it's me and my two friends in the back seat of this Cadillac convertible, and it's my one friend's
Oh, no.
stepdad driving, and then the mom in the front.
Were you belted in?
No, because I was in the middle.
Oh no.
And he goes flying over the speed hump, and it's just like,
Oh no.
and he's like, "What the hell was that?" And we're all like, "It was a speed bump." He's like, "Well, they should be painted yellow."
God. As
Were
you're
you like
hanging out
up
the
on the
back.
trunk as you
Yeah.
went up flying?
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was funny. But he wouldn't see any of them coming.
But he
We'd be
bottomed
like,
out?
There's another one. That guy reminds me, the other day I'm coming home, and there's, it's a 2-lane divided highway. So this guy is in front of me, but in the right-hand lane. I'm in the left-hand lane. And a car pulls out of a neighborhood, and he almost T-bones her.
Oh,
oh my
man.
God. And I was like, oh, and he's throwing his hands out the window. Like, what the hell, So I was like, oh God, I'm so glad nothing happened, So we get up, we're like catching up to like the next round of traffic in front of us because I have a little bit of a lead foot. And in front of me, we catch up to this diesel truck, and he's like, his window is right at this diesel truck's ass end.
Oh no.
And this truck took off. And it was just like a huge black billow of smoke like they do. And you could see it just like went in his window. And he was like, what the hell? And he just like, he was in like a Camaro or something. He punches
Oh,
it, right?
man.
And I was like, that was that guy's like last two straws. Like that chick he almost T-boned that chick, and then that guy blew smoke in his face. He was like, I thought he was gonna murder somebody.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But it's like, it just takes like 8 of those in one day and you're done. You know, like
Yeah.
you just, I
You know
just
what's
want to
funny?
drive off the road,
You're speaking. I think they call it rolling coal, right, or something, or what do
Rolling
they,
coal.
Rolling
Yeah,
coal.
I
or
don't
burning
know.
coal. I don't know.
I don't know
I'm not
why
young.
they do
It
that.
means when they hit the gas,
Oh,
all
and
the
the black
black
comes
smoke.
out?
I
Yeah.
can't remember what it's called.
I don't know what it
if
is
Julia
either.
gets home here, I'll have to ask her because one of her friends or ex-friends used to do
blowing
that.
smoke is what
But
I
yeah.
call it. Yeah.
So there is a big black truck, and it's a high school kid. And when I'm running, he does it to me every time.
Oh my god.
So I have to wear like a, like a.
Can I get you a paintball gun for your future?
Oh
runs?
my god.
Please. Come on, it doesn't
So
hurt anything.
I mean, kids will be kids. I'm just gonna start the story like that.
Wait, what's his license
But
plate?
I know I have his
She
license
can't see it
plate.
because there's too much smoke in
I
her
know,
eyes.
I know his license plate because I
Yeah.
went through the high school and
Oh
I
my
was like,
Okay.
that's the truck.
gosh.
Okay.
He does it to me at least once a week.
What the
I know they
hell?
think it's funny and it's really funny, but the one morning I I got home and I went to go like touch my face. I'm like, man, I'm really
You were
sweaty and
black?
gritty. But I went to go look in the mirror and I was black from it. I'm like, all right, something's got to happen here.
my
But I
God.
still haven't like called the school
Can you
to be
throw
like,
good?
can you?
Come on, just let me.
Yeah, I
you
can throw good.
How
Yeah.
about eggs?
Yeah, I might carry one with me. But then I'm going to be carrying an egg for 5 days out of
Yeah, and then you'll never see him. You won't see him.
You'll see it like on the socials, like our city, like
Yeah.
welcome to whoever
Yeah.
socials, and they're gonna be like, why does that runner carry eggs?
Yeah.
Or I'll throw it at the wrong truck.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
okay,
You know?
yeah.
So, but yeah, it was so funny. It was like
Okay,
I
wait,
had
for
my
the
son-
record, I wouldn't actually really probably do that. I just think of that
I
stuff.
think of that stuff too all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and I was
anyway.
like, oh, do I want to be like that person that goes to the high school and been like that black truck over there?
Well,
God,
you know
these
what?
kids are terrible. Get off my lawn.
I know, right? Do you know what they did to me this morning? So, but that's funny that you brought that up because that's been happening to me.
that's
I'm
so
like, you
funny.
jerks.
Yeah.
It really smells bad though. Like
I kind of
You know,
like
maybe
the smell of
you know
it.
what I
okay,
should do.
there's
Maybe
a part of me that likes it.
Yeah.
Like it brings back army
Yeah.
days. A
Yeah,
tiny
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But there's like an instant almost headache that goes with that.
yeah.
You really shouldn't breathe it
No.
in anyway.
Maybe you
but-
know what? Next time they do it, maybe I'll turn around and just die laughing, like, "Oh, you got me again!" And
Oh
then maybe
my
they'll quit. You know,
God,
maybe
yeah.
I'll be like, "You
Yeah.
got me!" Like
Yeah.
start pointing at them and stuff. Like that was hilarious. Like the last time they did,
Yeah.
I just kept running. I was just like, "I'm not gonna cough," and then as soon as I knew they were out of my sight, I'm like,
Oh,
and I was like wiping my face with my shirt, But I mean, I know they're having a blast or whatever, and they're laughing at me, but I'm like, "Oh man."
it's just mean. You know what happens to mean people?
Kids are brats.
Kids are brats.
They get caught by you at stores.
You keep your eye out for that black truck throwing coal or whatever you call it.
I'll let my buddy know.
Rolling
in the
coal.
next town over too.
Oh,
just
I
in
was
case.
like,
Yeah.
I was even thinking like, should I just hold a handful of nails or?
Oh my God.
I was like thinking evil. There's a woman that is a grandma around here, and she used to walk the grandkids around. First there was one, then there was two, then there was three.
Oh, wow.
One would be walking next, and she'd have a stroller. And she came in one time to the store with the stroller, and I looked at you.
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, that's my neighbor." And you looked
Oh,
back
no.
at me and you were like, she steals. And walked away. And I still see her without the grandkids
Oh
now.
no, it's the
And
worst.
I was like, "Wait, what?" And you're like, "Yeah, she hides stuff underneath the stroller."
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
so there's some that I'm real proud of and some not so much
Oh,
around here.
That is the
Sorry.
worst. When your dreams get broken, you're like, "What are you talking? That was like the nicest person ever," and you just be like, "Nope, I busted her the other day."
I'm sorry if I was inconsiderate in my response.
No. You know what?
was
After
so
like the
funny.
fourth time, we weren't surprised anymore. We
No,
just assumed
no.
everybody stole.
I know. Oh gosh.
I think that's one benefit I have to trying to balance. Like, I'm a really nice person. I really do like people in general. Is to when I'm doing an investigation, especially an internal, but now we do externals that sometimes take us days or weeks.
Yeah.
Also, but really specifically with employees is to I always give them the benefit of the doubt
Right.
until I cannot tell the story another way. And that's
Right.
how we do regular apprehensions is just, you like we talked about, they're called elements, but the elements of the crime, you've got your selection and concealment and no breaks in surveillance. Or if there is something different about those, you have to do this, this, and this. And so with team members, like their reputation is in the balance. So if I hear something from somebody or if I see something and people talk about it and we're wrong, you just ruined them.
Right.
If you're right, you don't want to ruin the case either.
Right,
So
right,
you got to be
right.
careful with the balance of the two. But I mean, in the front of my mind, I'm like, I know you're stealing. I saw you use all those coupons. Those ain't yours. Or, I saw you slide something at the lane. But like, I
Yeah.
still have to see it all.
Yes.
Like as much as I can possibly review and dig into, I have to see it all and know and understand. And then we'll talk.
Yeah.
And I don't think I don't ever remember losing a case, so to speak, because I don't pull somebody unless there's no other way to tell the story.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
100%
Absolutely
certain.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we always know the who, what, where, when, and how. The why is the only thing I usually can't answer. Every once in a while,
Yeah.
you know the why too, because you know people. If
Yeah.
you talk to them.
Yeah.
Or if you talk to their friends, but, their coworkers. But
Have you ever had an internal case where you knew they were doing something, but you just couldn't get that 100%?
You didn't
Like
have
they
a box
were,
to hide in.
like they were that good. Like maybe I'm.
There was no box available.
There
to
was
hide
no
in.
box with eye holes available. Like, was there just a case where you're just like, I know they're guilty,
Well,
and it just takes forever and months? Because sometimes I feel like we would not talk about cases 'cause obviously you
Right.
wouldn't, it's confidential.
but some of us did
But I feel
because
like
we
there
needed
were-
each other.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel
Yeah.
like there were some cases that went for months, and I would just think to myself, frickin' get them already.
Yeah.
Not towards you, but just
Yeah.
like, we know they're doing something, but you had to have that 100%
Right.
because they
Right.
worked for the company.
There was one that a lot of people would say, she's got to be doing something. She's got to be doing something.
Yeah.
She's shady. And I would always say, nope, she's just finding the loopholes.
Yeah,
Nope, she's just finding
yeah.
the loopholes. And she
And
found
that would-
the loophole that got back to her.
That would irk me so bad
Yeah.
if somebody was loopholing it, because
Yeah.
it's like, damn it, you've been
Yeah.
doing it for a long time. Then, if you know how to get
Yeah.
around the
Right.
I've
system,
worked with several people like that. I've worked with several people like that where they just skated around.
Yeah.
Just skated
But
around.
most policy, in my experience, most cases really came back to a policy or a procedure
Yeah.
that you knew about. And if there was any way that you could talk your way out of it, we made sure that you signed that kind of policy
right?
and then continued the behavior before I pulled you.
Right.
Okay.
So
Right.
I've had people that I was a witness for that the whole thing in the office just fizzled, and I was like,
Oh.
"What have you done?
Yeah.
What did you not tell me?" Like, I had a newer person, I don't know, back in the day that told me about the case and was confident and ready to do the interview, and we went into it, and then it just fell apart. And after the team member left, I was like, "What is she talk? What did you not tell me?" And then all this other stuff came out, and I'm like, "Why didn't you tell me that?" Like,
Yeah.
those are things that are necessary to know and talk about, because you have to anticipate that out of the person you're talking to
Sure.
through the interview. But
And by fizzling, you mean they weren't
like they
there,
had a reason
or
for
they had a
something,
or okay,
so that they're
but
not
so and so
guilty.
told me to go do this, and you're like, oh, okay, or I was there because of that.
Yeah, or it was just something that got them out of that. Our perception of the event
Yeah,
wasn't
what it
their
was.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And so that's that. But the person that a lot of team members would tell me about, the loophole just kind of, it wasn't even a company policy that was violated, but it was the law.
Yeah,
So that
right,
bitter.
right.
Eventually. But I mean, by the time I hear something, I don't know. I guess I've looked into them before where somebody tells me something and I'm like, oh, it's good. Like, you gave me a tip. Remember you told me about Jane Doe?
Yeah.
Well, I looked into it and I see what you saw, but don't worry, it's not what you think. We're
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
And I always tried to communicate back to people so that
Yeah,
they didn't
you
think
were
that
always
their-
good about that.
Yeah, they didn't think that their tips fell on deaf ears, you know.
Did you
so.
have anyone that would give you tips, but then they ended up being the one that was wrong?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Like they want to be your friend and they want to give you tips, but really it's because they would just want to get closer to you.
They want you to
because-
look over here and
Yeah.
not at what they're doing.
Yeah, my husband would always say, like, if you're following somebody too hard in the store, like, better watch out. He's just the decoy. And I'm like, what do you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm sure he could have been right.
Yeah.
I can't think of a case right offhand
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But I mean, I've gone into especially team member interviews like, I don't want to screw this up. Really nervous. Did I miss anything? Because
Yeah.
again, I don't want it to be something that I completely missed, and
Yeah.
now it's an embarrassing situation for either party, but especially them. But I think I probably, in some ways, I know in some ways I over prepare because I know people who don't
Yeah,
even really
yeah.
prepare. They know what they know and they're good with it, and they go into the interview and they have an open mind about what could come at them,
Yeah.
and they're ready for the responses.
Yeah.
But then I've seen people who prepare entire spreadsheets, and if the interview doesn't go like they like, my boss and I were talking about this the other day, if the interview doesn't go like they thought, they lock up.
Yeah,
And
right.
they screw it up.
They're like, oh my God, well, I didn't expect that question yet. Hold
And you
on,
never wanna
you
show
know, yeah.
weakness.
Yeah, can you hang on a second? I'll be back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
2 hours
yeah,
later,
yeah.
you're
Hold on,
reviewing
let me
video.
let my look at my
Yeah.
little tree of questions
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and every interview is different, you know, depending
Yeah.
on the person and what they did and how they did it. I had a former law enforcement person once that I guess he thought he was better than us in a way, and I I really try not to be cocky because, yeah, we're good at what we do, but we're good because we're persistent and we use our resources.
Yeah.
Like, we're not good alone. We're good with the
Yeah.
whole picture. And I just thought, man, if he's a retired law enforcement anything, like, he's going to have everything for me.
Yeah.
So I spent weeks, I think I grew roots to my chair.
Wow.
Weeks reviewing whole shifts because he
Yeah.
would take things here and there. And by the time I talked to him, I just said, here's what I know. And I put
You were ready.
everything out there. And then I said, got any questions? And like, that was it.
Yeah.
That was
He
it.
knew.
He
Yeah.
knew. And I kind of needed that because if somebody comes back at me and I'm not as quick-witted when it comes to trying to remember what I know. I know what I know.
Because you're
but-
factual. It's got to be in front of you. Like,
Yeah.
so if they're going to
so, but
lie
even
or
that
something,
was,
it's not.
even that was the kind of situation where we had mutual respect for each other. I like you. You were a really good worker, but you stole.
Yeah.
And for that person, I like you too, but you're doing your job.
Yeah.
And we're good. And no slash tires.
Can we talk about hourly team members
sure.
and time clock fraud?
Yes. Time clock fraud would be either I punched in and left or
Mhm.
somebody punched me in and I'm not there.
Okay. And
It's
does that
not-
happen often?
Oh, not as often.
I feel like people notice if you ain't there. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you work at the dairy cooler.
Yeah.
You know?
She punched in 3
Like,
hours ago. I
where's
don't know. She
Meredith? She
hasn't
hasn't
sliced
gotten-
one piece of.
She hasn't gotten
Yeah.
on lane at all. Where is she?
It says she's here.
She must be on lunch.
Yeah.
Ate something bad for lunch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
is that kind of?
There's been a few.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say lots at all because I can only think of two offhand. One was actually like wasted time in the break room because the person would punch back in and go sit down in the break room for a significant
Oh.
amount of time,
Oh.
not just a few minutes here and there, because that is a waste of our time to a point. That could be a conversation with their leader.
Sure.
But a significant amount of time, that one ended up in a termination. And then there was one where somebody must have punched them in because it was a long time ago when the time clocks were different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And somebody had to be there, and you could punch somebody in and out. They were just numbers.
Yeah.
So I learned, I think we brought this up, that falling asleep on the clock and like deliberately making a bed and going to sleep are two totally different things.
Yeah,
right?
you did mention that before.
yeah.
I haven't had either one.
Yeah.
Well,
You
except for
haven't
the
had
drunk
either
guy,
one.
but he wasn't sleeping. He was more like passed out.
Yeah.
So like, you know, say, you know, a security guard that works in a guardhouse at a, you know, subdivision or something like that. Him nodding off and falling asleep may not be worth termination, but him taking a pillow and a blanket
Yes.
and laying down, that would be worth termination, you know? So
I haven't.
it's one for you to think about.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. We have cameras in our offices now. So
Do you? Oh, no
but I-
nappy poos for you.
I did
Nappy
find.
poops.
Wait, what did you call it?
Nappy poos?
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. I did find a place in a store that I worked at that I never knew was there. After the fire extinguisher guy came around for the annual check, I took his list and followed that. And there were fire extinguishers that I didn't know about.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
I went up this ladder in this one store and I was like, what? I could have a mini kitchen up
You
here.
could have like a
Wow.
clubhouse up there.
if
Oh
I
my
had like, you know, a
gosh.
stripper pole to slide down to get down fast because all it was the little ladder or slide. But yeah, I did not know.
Huh.
And there was
Little
a place
hidden
at our
sections. Yeah.
there was a place at our old workplace
Yeah.
that I don't know if there was a pillow that I saw, and all I could think at the time was that could only be one of two people.
Yeah.
And I couldn't picture either one of them putting a pillow up there, and it was that dirty. Like the dust dirty.
Oh.
And I'm
yeah,
allergic
yeah,
to
yeah.
dust, so maybe that's my problem. But like
Like you can't picture anyone laying up there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So maybe
Oh.
maybe it was thrown up there.
Wait, so
above your old office.
But at one point, someone maybe went and took a nap up there.
Oh yeah. Not me.
Wow.
But
sick.
if I was gonna take a nap, which I did like probably like less than 10 times in all those years.
Yeah, of
Dude, I
overnights and
punched.
watching.
I
and-
punched out and I laid the phone on my chest and put my feet on the desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes
And
you
it was on
do.
camera, but that's what the time clock's for.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about gambling on like team members that gamble
On,
Lotto
on,
tickets?
on the clock?
on
yeah.
the clock.
Yeah.
Is that a tough one, or maybe it doesn't happen as often?
I think that in the stores that I've seen, and I've opened and been at a lot of stores. I mean, I've had just a handful of primary stores, but I think that really breaks down like first to a team leader conversation.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that would, and especially if it's somebody who works, and I don't mean to say, I don't know, because I'm not the leader, but if you have a good worker, or if it's somebody new, and like, it's not a big issue, but like you saw it, address it right now. Let's make sure that, and that's the thing,
Right.
is to document it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You can't just,
Right.
I
We
don't-
always said if you don't document it, it never happens.
never
didn't
happened. Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Have you ever had to catch someone on their first day? Like, did someone start a job and right away
Just went and stole
put
donuts.
put a 20 in their pocket or something?
Not that I recall.
Good. That's putting faith in humanity for me.
But then there's those who say, "Oh, it's my first time stealing." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Oh. Okay. I'm good, but I'm not that good." Okay, buddy.
Oh,
Not your
God.
first
You're like, you
time.
made me watch the cameras 4 times to make sure you did it. It was pretty
Yeah.
slick. I'm pretty sure it's not
and-
your first time doing
And there
it.
are those that you watch them and you're like, "Oh my God, how long have you been doing this?"
Yeah, that's
And
like
then
Because
quick
they're
change.
pros?
The
They're
quick
pro-
change
oh.
artists.
some of those.
We had a quick change
Yes.
artist, and that shit was insane.
What do you mean by quick change artist?
So they're like, hey, can I get change for this 100?
oh.
And so then you like give them, 20s.
Oh, no, I
And
But
then
they
you still
usually
have the
start
drawer
with-
open, and then like this, and can I have 2 10s instead, and blah, 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 blah. And then
And
the next
before
thing
you know, your drawer is short.
Yes.
$350.
Wow.
Were you the victim?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, me neither.
Nope.
I had
think
to
I
watch-
walked up and like slammed the drawer and was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
But I was like,
Cast to
no,
the
no,
rescue.
something's not right here.
I
I've
think
had to
I've had
watch.
people come up to me and try to do that, and I was just too slow.
Yeah.
Like, I had to think about it. I'd be like, 520s? Okay, 20. When they're like, oh, forget it. I'm going down to the other place.
Well, that's what I would always do. If somebody wanted change while I had the drawer open, like I would take what they gave me, I would count out the change, I would put it in there, I would close the drawer, and
And
I
then
would
hand it
count
back to them.
out
Yes, yes.
And then each interaction, oh, but I wanted
Is it
2
different?
10s.
Okay,
now you
so,
gotta, now you
yeah.
gotta go up to the service desk.
Yeah, yeah.
But then
I
up
got
there
people
you can
behind
get
you.
$350.
Yeah, well,
So have a great night.
Not my problem.
yeah.
That happened, and I remember watching video from that
Yes.
location over. I think I watched it 6 or 8 times.
You let me watch it.
before I saw what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that slick.
You let me
Yeah.
watch that because
Yeah.
like I said, I'm pretty sure I walked up there and was like, nope, something's not right. And then you
Yeah.
were like, come watch us. And I was like, I knew something
They
was going
didn't they
on.
have 2 or 3 cashiers' hands in
Yes.
it? Oh man, that was
Yes.
that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something that should be taught
I-
before you get up to the service
Well,
desk
yeah.
or as a
you
cashier. I think they're
would.
so quick trying to train
Yes.
people on the registers
Yes.
and boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. Okay, you know how to count back. You know how to do this. This is how you're scanning. You
Yeah.
know what avocados are, 40
Yeah.
to 25. and then, but they,
25.
yeah. Oh yeah, 42,
Why do I
25, yeah. And, and they really should maybe just have like a quick
Yes.
hour session of,
I feel like you get trained on that as a cashier. As they
as the
do-
quick hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they do talk about that every
I
once
know
in a
I
while.
did,
Like,
For what?
but-
27
because-
seconds or
but we're not even supposed to open the drawer for somebody that wants change.
Right. I always
Yeah.
told them to go to the.
Yeah.
well, you know how it starts sometimes is the 50-cent item in the check lane
Yeah.
and the $50 bill.
Yeah.
Or the $100 bill.
Yeah.
So sometimes it happens
Yeah.
with that
At
small
the-
purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something I would always see. I think I
don't
knew
ever
that.
want to be a victim of that.
I know.
my
I mean, because I'm on
God.
this end looking at video,
Yeah.
like, how come they don't see that? How
But
do
you
they not
just-
know?
you're-
But
you gotta
I'm
be in
not
the
the-
situation,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
the one there. So
My girlfriend, she had a job at Kmart. They're not even open anymore.
No.
She had a job at Kmart when she was like 15 or 16, and she totally got taken, and they fired her ass. And she was like,
Aw.
you know what? I don't even care.
Learn my lesson, scarred for life.
So I didn't even like this job anyways.
You guys are gonna be closing down in 5 years. I don't give a shit.
Like, I think she felt bad at first, and then she was like, I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, why? You know?
I hate this job anyway.
They're using our old Kmart as a
COVID
COVID
center.
vaccine
Is
center.
that what it is?
Yeah, it's all
Oh.
Army.
Yeah.
It's all Army volunteers or whatever. I don't know if they're considered volunteers, but
Don't trust.
I've been in a military hospital.
God.
Just saying. I'm so grateful to be here today.
I was gonna say, like, honestly, I'm sure they shot you with all sorts of shit when you were in the army.
Yeah, I'm
so.
sure, but I'm talking like as
She
a-
glows in the dark. We're gonna try that after this.
That's why I don't work at night.
You can still see her no matter what. People are thinking they're seeing ghosts. Nope, just her.
It's just the secret girl over
Secret
here.
girl. The glowing secret girl.
Oh my gosh. No, so there was a team member once at the service desk, and he was returning merchandise to his own credit card to bring down his balance. And the report we got was that this item was returned twice in a day, and it's a higher dollar item. So the system kicks out those reports, and like the software that the companies, that big retailers use is just incredible. The amount of information that's there
Yeah.
that it can either automatically send to you, or you can request that it automatically sends to you on the regular, or you can just say, I want this. Like, I want this cashier on these dates, and these coupons were entered.
Yeah.
Or I want this UPC. How many times was it returned on this day? Oh, how many stores in our market? I mean, it's just crazy.
It is
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
And
It was kind of cool how you could drill it down like that.
That's
Yeah,
you know?
amazing.
thanks.
Yeah.
That's the right
Yeah.
terminology.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was returning, and it was hundreds and hundreds.
So he would
And-
just take random items and then override the system to return it back to his card.
Yep. With
Wow.
nobody else there. And it would be something that was returned earlier in the day. So it would be a higher dollar-ish item, 50 or 100 bucks.
He would just
I
grab
think-
something from back there that somebody
Yes.
returned.
Yes.
What the
And
hell?
I think the big ticket item was like $200 or $300 or $400. And
Oh
that's
my
what
gosh.
really put it into
Wow.
motion. And
See,
I
you're
knew
teaching
the
me how
guy.
to steal again.
Yeah, but he got caught and
Yeah,
went to
that's the-
jail.
The whole point of this 2-hour
Story.
extended episode is that everyone gets caught.
Oh God.
Don't
at one
try
way or
it.
I would
another.
have never thought to do that. You
So
know?
he did that, and like I liked the guy. He was a good worker. He was friendly. I can't say outside of work because he wasn't. And then I knew his girlfriend, who became his wife, and they've got 2 kids at least, and this and that. And he went to jail that night, and it was really cold that night, like extremely cold and windy. And they took him out to county and then released him, and he had no ride.
Oh my gosh.
I went and got him.
Did you
Wow.
I put him
really?
there, and I went and got him. I did because why not? I knew him, so it wasn't unsafe for me.
Yeah.
But like he was gonna walk back. How far is county from there? I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
10 miles
yeah.
or 15 miles
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Probably 10.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, and I don't even know how
Crazy
I knew.
cold
I
out.
don't even know how I knew that he was walking unless I had his number and texted him.
That's
Like,
terrible.
riddle me this, but a lot of people had my number at that store. So yeah, and then you know
yeah,
what?
because it would be like midnight and like the cashiers would be
It
like,
was
hey,
so
are you awake? We got this really weird chick here. And you'd be like, I'll be there in 10 minutes, you know, like,
I had done that a couple times.
yeah, I know.
You don't do that too often, though, right?
Oh, I don't do that at all.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not now,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't think
And,
so.
and I don't have to because there are so many cameras
Yeah.
and there is so much detail in the quality of those that I can prove what you did and I'm not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and if I don't have your name yet, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And if I don't have it and I can't get it, the officers will, I mean, it's,
Right.
I don't know how they
right.
do their side of it either, but they come back sometimes with people's names and I'm like, can you tell us how you figured that out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we know him, you know.
Some
like,
of them are
yeah.
that easy. Yeah, I know this
Yeah.
guy.
Wow.
And some aren't. Some are various,
That was
IDs
Kevin was
or
kind of
whatever.
talking about that too when he was like, he had to call the cops a couple times for
Yeah.
some situations and they were like, oh, yeah, we know him. You know,
Yeah.
like, he's like, what the hell?
He's harmless.
Yeah.
Then the other
Yeah.
guy had a warrant, so he had
Yeah.
to take him
Yeah.
out.
It's crazy.
That's wild too. Sometimes the simplest little $10 t-shirt theft turns into like a hands-on, not for us anymore, but like a hands-on drug warrants
Oh,
issue.
man.
Well,
And,
that's
like,
why
how
they fight.
stupid can
That's
you
why they
be?
fight. It wasn't the
Yeah.
$10 little retail theft. It was whatever else is already going on or set up in their
So
life.
speaking of T-shirts, can you tell us what yours says? Because that's super cute, and then we'll end on this.
Yeah, my boss got me this. Life is uncertain. Eat dessert first.
Yeah.
We had dessert before dinner tonight. We had
We
chocolate
sure
covered
did.
strawberries.
Thank you for those.
Yes,
Amazing.
delicious.
Yeah, a little healthy.
This was so
healthy.
fun.
This was so much fun.
We didn't even realize it was going to be like a double episode,
Yeah.
but this is so
Yeah.
fun.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
So much
secret
fun.
girl.
I love you guys so much.
We love you too.
I keep
And we
snapping you.
appreciate all the Snapchats of how we're
Yes.
doing, and I know she'll keep us straight.
I
so,
know. I
yeah.
know.
I like how you guess like who we talk about.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I
love
remember. It was
Yes.
so fun.
Sometimes I'm slow. Not gonna lie, I'm like, wait, what? And I refuse to be interrupted when I'm listening to this podcast. So I love you, Mom. But she interrupted me last week, and I was like, oh. And I shut it off. So I didn't even get to hear it until 2 days ago. But I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's worth the wait.
Yeah.
I will wait.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us. Do not steal.
Don't steal.
It's not worth it.
She'll get you.
But it's fun for me.
So keep doing it, I guess.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Drums, written and performed by my son, Steven. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.